Well, this is such a beautiful afternoon for a walk. I'm really grateful that you were willing to come with me.
Indeed it is. Thank you so much for having me.
Please, share with me what you do at Wake Forest and how long you've been here.
Well, I've been here for 16 years. I have a joint appointment in the Spanish department and the Interdisciplinary Humanities program. I've been directing the Humanities program for 6 years now. And what I love the most about Wake Forest is that it is the kind of place where you can pick up the phone and talk to a real person and really engage in collaboration, radical collaboration, to steal your famous phrase. I've been fortunate to work with wonderful colleagues, wonderful students, and to turn the classroom into a collaborative space.
How did you get interested in this area?
So what I do is to study literature and culture from a comparative and transnational perspective. My PhD is in comparative literature. In order to understand my research, we got to go back to the place where I was born and where I grew up in the south of Spain. And I grew up being surrounded by history. So Roman ruins as you walk to a Gothic cathedral, Islamic architecture in the arches above your head. So I was very conscious of how history, the past, inhabits the present. And that made me interested in who gets to tell stories, what those stories mean, and who gets left out. And that's what I do in my research, and that's what I do in my classes as well, both Spanish and humanities. I encourage students to look at the big questions, think hard about the big questions, but think about those questions across cultures and across languages and across places, forcing them to be out of their comfort zone. So for example, I'm teaching a class for humanities this semester about America. So a concept.
America's big.
Yeah,
America's big though.
So what is America? That is the big question, right? So everybody knows everybody thinks they know what America is, but then we start looking at different perspectives from different times and through different genres. Something that we do, for example, is think about what Shakespeare, who wrote The Tempest, to come to terms with the idea of a new continent across the ocean. That's the kind of frame that I try to build for our students.
The critical thinking that you have your students really engage in thinking about society today reflected on the historical context.
The past is not something that is said and done and has no bearing on the present. It's still palpable in the way we live. I hate lecturing.
So what do you do?
That's what I always say. I say, I approach this class as a conversation.
Okay.
So the classroom is the place where my ideas become debate and become conversation.
So coming up with the answers versus being given the answers.
Exactly, yeah. And many times there are no answers. It's just complexity that they need to engage with.
The fact that sometimes there are no answers, I think, is a really bold proposition for students to embrace.
Exactly. So this is not, a math class where you have a definite answer.
Yeah, I'm a scientist, so I always feel like there's a proof.
So where's the answer key to this? So sometimes there's no answer key, and that is the real reward and the real opportunity for us as faculty members and for the students to contribute to the Pro Humanitate motto, right? So humanity is not a monolith. Humanity is not, said and done. It's a work in progress. It's part of a conversation. And humanity needs to be looked at from different perspectives, different places, and different times.
Well, what you're sharing with me really conveys that the Liberal Arts Foundation is alive and well and thriving here at Wake Forest, which is so important to what we need to offer our students.
Absolutely, and that is the true value of the humanities. It's not really an academic field, it's a way of life, it's a way of engaging with the complexity that is inherent in who we are, how we live, how we come together in societies, how we understand our past. And that is so essential to civic discourse nowadays, to civic responsibility, to understanding the notion of justice. So my main motivation is to provide our students with those critical tools that they can carry into their professional futures, into their lives.
And it sounds like you are on the front edge of yet another set of really creative endeavors. Thank you so much.
Thank
Enjoyed
you.
walking with you.
Thank you, President.